White Seabass fishing in Southern California is exploding. You're looking at the deck of the Coral Sea out of Santa Barbara. They had 63 white sea bass. That is limits of white sea bass, 3 per angler, and 24 halibut. And today on the Freedom, out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, they had 120 white sea bass for limit. Stock footage of our yellowtail fishing on board the Independence as we get news from the Coronado Islands. The San Diego is pushed up to 80 yellowtail today at the island despite horrendous boat pressure. Things are really going well at the island.
Idea of a good breakfast for carnivore. There's your hard-boiled eggs, sardines, anchovies, some butter to get proper animal fat, and some delicious rib.
You're looking at the deck of the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Wide open white sea bass. They ended up with limits. Just look at that deck full of sea bass. Several other boats limiting out. Please don't forget to support the Freedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Freedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez. And also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Freedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. We went to Central Casting and got some surfers for your background here today. It's a gorgeous morning. It's kind of been a mild summer, and it's indicative of that here today as it's kind of cool and overcast. But man, the fishing is anything but cool. It is red hot. Tremendous white sea bass fishing yesterday for the boys out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. That's my home base where we have our podcast studio, and they just put the wood to them. Wide open bluefin tuna fishing for many of the boys last night as that bite is sizzling. And the Coronado Islands, can it get any better? Guys are experiencing one-stop shopping. They drop their anchor, they catch 100 yellows, and they come home with a lot of happy anglers. That and some Channel Island bluefin tuna, and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? And is it great to be back with you all again? I first of all want to thank all the people who've come by the OC Fair to say hi to me. One young man blurted out, Freedman Adventures, and I looked out and there was a big smile on his face, and he's such, I don't think it got in there. Woohoo! And I'll tell you, he was such a nice young man. We got to take a photo together and chat a little bit. Thank you for coming by, my friend. I really, really appreciate that. One more. No salt water in there. Thank God. And also, I want to tell you that it means the world to me when people recognize me out there, and it has been fantastic. What a bite we've got going on. Hit that like button. Don't forget to share these videos everywhere. Subscribe to the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting, deplorable little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Really great to be with you all. You know Greg Bates, the elf who used to make so many appearances here on Freeman Adventures, says he misses the word copious. He said, you used to use the word copious all the time. Where is the word copious? Well, I'll have to reintegrate that in to today's show. There's no doubt about that. Let's talk about long range. Royal Polaris topped off with some nice big bluefin tuna yesterday as they're making their way home. Had a ribeye steak for everybody on board. Really a delicious meal and great fishing on our long range scene. However, there's been a few blips on the radar. You know, the searcher was out at Alejos Rocks, and while they had perfect conditions and great weather and caught a few wahoo, man, the yellowfin and yellowtail were absent. They just were nowhere around. It's been great on these 8-day trips overall. We've seen nothing short of great yellowtail and yellowfin tuna fishing. We'll see if we can pick that ball up and keep it going. Cedros Island, some yellows there. Also an occasional halibut and white seabass. It's starting to tail off a little bit, but it can come roaring back. There's no doubt about that. And also down there in San Quintin, that yellowtail bite kind of dipped on us a little bit, but it's solid. Chief Low, Florida is down there. Tiburon, Pongas, putting the wood to the yellows here recently. And there's halibut, white seabass, barracuda nearby. It's really excellent fishing 140 miles down below the border in San Quintin. And we are seeing some outstanding fishing in Ensenada. The bluefin tuna are back in the picture again. Great fishing on, I want to say, 10 to 100 plus pound bluefin tuna. A lot of their fish taken on trolled Mad Mac type lures, but also the clear poppers when you roll up on a foamer. We like the Tuna Riot clear poppers. That's been super effective. Also, a Colt Sniper works really, really well. Daiwa Sakana lures, also very, very effective on those foamers of bluefin tuna, and you are seeing a lot of them. There's miles of fish when you get into the zone. I'll talk about that when we get into our bluefin tuna info here in just a second. It has been absolutely phenomenal. Let's get into it. Bluefin tuna offshore, it can't get much better than it is right now. Daytime fish, nighttime fish, it's all biting really well. Very few misses, many boats with limits of bluefin tuna. That is 2 bluefin tuna per anglers, and we're catching some fish that exceed 200 pounds. There's some of that small fish around, but it seems like this nighttime fish especially is the big grade stuff again. 40 to 60 to 80 to 100 to 150. And as I mentioned, 200 pound fish also running around. It's been great. Fortune, limits of bluefin tuna, Pacific Dawn, Pacific Voyager, limits of bluefin tuna, the new low end on a 2.5 day trip, limits of bluefin tuna. That's 25 guys, 100 bluefin tuna to 200 pounds. It is on. It is full speed and biting really well. Now, Navigante up there out of Redondo on a day and a half trip had 22 bluefin to 60 pounds. They went through an awful lot of fish, I'm telling you. And Jeff Lingle, our dear friend, pushing limits of bluefin tuna on his yacht. He was down there off of San Quintin. That's the area we talked about where the yellowtail bite is good. 140 miles below the border offshore there. There is a lot of bluefin, and they're nice fish. There's kite fish in the daytime, fly line fish, and then at night you can get bit also fishing those, West Coast jiggers, HD 350s, something like that has been working really well. The Daiwa SK jigs have been red hot, and the Eddie Bomb still works really, really well. 16-ounce Eddie Bomb works great. Drop quickly when the captain tells you to drop, and you'll get bit every single time if you get to the appropriate depth. So drop fast and drop to where he tells you to drop. It's been really great fishing, and it is continuing. And how about the gray light? Now, they leave in the morning, come back in the evening. They're out of Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard, California, up there in the northern region. How about Five Guys? How about limits of bluefin tuna with 10 BFT bluefin tuna in the Channel Islands, nibbling and nearby? That is great news. I'm telling you, that San Diego-based bite, that's within 1 day range of San Diego. We'll define 1 day range as 80 miles. It's closer than that, but 80, you can fish 80 on a 1 day trip and get the job done. In most cases, just phenomenal fishing. Really great bluefin tuna right now for Southern California anglers. We are truly blessed here. Let's talk islands, and we're going to start with the Coronado Islands, where the San Diego had one of those days where they had one-stop shopping. That is to say, they dropped their anchor, and a few hours later, 125 yellowtail. Great fishing. There's a mix of fish. There's some really big brutes in there, 20, 25, bigger than that sometimes, and then you get some 8-pounders, but it is phenomenal. Fly line sardine working really, really well there, and also surface iron, yo-yo iron. You can catch them on a dropper loop. There's so many yellows there. It is phenomenal, and now we're moving into the weekdays. It's going to get better because you're going to get some of that horrendous boat pressure off. I mean, it's really horrendous. There are so many boats there, and that makes this bite so much more impressive to me because with all those boats, these guys are still cranking huge numbers. Tradition, 97 yellowtail to bluefin tuna. Also out there yesterday was the Mission Belle, 67 on the yellowtail. Greg Aila was on that trip. Greg is a great Friedman Adventures family member. Greg, we love you. Keep up the great work. He gets out there and he's fishing a spinning reel and he's putting the wood to him. And all of a sudden, Greg says he's fishing 25-pound and he's fishing a good hot sardine. He ends up with limits of fish on the Mission Belle yesterday. And then he says, you know what? Fish tacos, man. I got my limit of yellowtail. I'm going to drop her loop down to the bottom and start catching some rockfish. What happens? Another yellowtail. That's how solid these forkies are. Greg, way to go. Thank you so much for sharing your memorable trip with all of us here at Friedman Adventures. That means the world to us. Keep us informed and keep up the great work. Great day on the Mission Belle for Greg. It doesn't get any better than that. The 22nd Street Landing boys had some of the best white sea bass fishing one could ever imagine. 40 guys on the Freedom. That includes the crew with 120 white sea bass. 120 on the WSP. It was a phenomenal bite and it took place quickly. That was like in an hour's time, maybe a little bit better than that. They throw on a $120 on the white sea bass. Fish eating everything you threw at them. It was a tremendous day's fishing. The Amigo was in on that also. They had 20 guys for 60 white sea bass. Limits is 3 per rod. Both boats limiting out. Some other guys got in on it. As good as you could possibly want it right now. And hopefully that is going to continue because, man, that is some great fishing, no doubt about it. That going on at Catalina Island, we continue to see some really good bass fishing. Yesterday on the El Patron, they had great bass fishing. There's some yellows running around. There's a lot of short calicos, but there's more and more legals. And again, if you want to catch calico bass, drop that fluoro down to 15-pound and you'll get a bite every single time. It makes all the difference in the world. I'm telling you, lighter line, choosing a hot bait, changing that bait regularly makes all the difference in the world. You will crank some good fish. We get you up to the Channel Islands where we are seeing a few white sea bass, a few halibut here and there. The biggest score we saw here recently with Daniel Hadaway on the Island Spirit on his Wednesday halibut special, 37 halibut. And now Daniel is going to add an extra day and start fishing both Tuesdays and Wednesdays on the halibut special. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Reef. briefing.
Yes,
Good to see
sir.
you.
How are you?
Great.
It's good to see you. You catching anything?
No, I just I grabbed some sand crabs over here and take them back over to the harbor.
Dude, you're on the morning briefing today. What's your
Awesome.
name?
Matt.
Matt, it's so nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
good to meet you too.
No fish yet?
No, I just got out here and started walking on the beach.
Right on. Dude, if you
Awesome
catch
morning.
something, run down here
I will,
and let
I
me
will.
know.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, thank you.
Yeah, see you, Phil.
So nice to see Matt here this morning. What a pleasure, Matt. Best of luck. Get him. All right, that is really great stuff. So up there in the Channel Islands, once again, the gray light with that bluefin tuna, that adds some spice to it. Daniel Hottaway going to start running those trips on Tuesday and Wednesdays. That is really awesome stuff. I love that. And man, they leave an hour early on those trips, so they leave at 6 a.m. this Tuesday and Wednesday. Ventura Sport Fishing, the Island Spirit, 805-676-3474, or you can visit them on venturasportfishing.com. Keep that in mind. Really great stuff going on. That bluefin getting closer up there. There's also been some great white sea bass fishing up there in that neck of the woods. The Coral Sea just the other day had limits of white sea bass. I think they had 63 white sea bass in tremendous fishing. So they've been putting the wood to them. Also, it's been outstanding fishing going on there. So we'll continue to watch that in that neck of the woods. Avila Beach, Morro Bay, great rock fishing going on up there in that area. It's been fabulous. And up there in beautiful San Francisco, California, where I lost my heart. Up there in San Francisco, great striped bass fishing with some good halibut for lovely Martha. Sport Fishing California, Don and others up there in that neck of the woods. I'm telling you right now, this is as good as it gets, folks, with the sea bass, with the Channel Island bluefin, with the wide open bluefin and the Coronado Islands. Tremendous fishing. There's great yellowtail fishing in Ensenada. Also, it is really coming together. Let's talk local fishing. It looked like San Diego was kind of over their local bass fishing, but man, it's back on again. Really good sand bass fishing going on down there in that neck of the woods. We've seen it on several of the boats. Hopefully it's going to continue. The new Seaforth, the Dolphin, both with decent sand bass fishing. Dropper loop, 15 pound. Change that bait regularly. That'll make all the difference in the world. By the way, with regard to bait, they are getting some really nice Dean in there in San Diego, mixed with the Chovy. It's day to day. You never know what you're going to get, but yesterday on the Mission Bell, they had beautiful sardines for bait. So that is a thing right now. Great local bass fishing. Not great, but decent as the conditions turn around and the water warms up once again. That is looking good. Dana Wharf, we're seeing some pretty good calico bass fishing, albeit on a lot of shorts. And up there out of Davies Locker, Newport Beach, and the Long Beach, San Pedro boats, it's mixed, okay? It's not wide open like it once was, but you can still scratch out some decent sand bass catches. Native Sun, Freelance, guys like that are scratching out decent sand bass catches. Not wide open, but decent enough right now. Again, light line, choose your bait and change that bait regularly. Choose a hot bait and change that bait regularly, and that'll help you so very much. A lot of guys get stuck having to catch sculpin also right now, so that is also a possibility. Rockfish and sculpin up in the Santa Monica Bay. Rockfish, sculpin, a little bit of bass up there. There's been some great twilight fishing on the new Del Mar. That's tailed off a little bit, but you can still do pretty darn well. Same thing on the Native Sun. You'll pick off a few bass at night. Hopefully, as the water warms again, we had a little cold water blow in here. As the water warms up, I think we're looking down the barrel of an extraordinary fall. I really do. This sets up and looks like not only offshore, but everywhere is going to be really exciting stuff. So keep that in mind, my dear friends, and we'll continue to watch that for you very closely here in the Southern California surf. Don't forget about Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. It looks like Matt walked down a little ways there, and now he's headed back this way. I'd love to see him catch fish. You can get all your bait and tackle and everything else you'll need for a successful day out here on the Eastern Pacific, fishing from the beach, or as we like to call it, surf fishing down around the Huntington Beach Pier. A few corbina down there, not wide open. You can dig some sand crabs up. Also down here at Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway, you see the tower there. There's been some spotfin croaker. I do see beyond where Matt walked a couple of fishermen who do really well here. And those guys in particular, way down there past Matt, I don't know if you can see them or not, but those guys in particular don't show up unless they're biting. So I have a feeling something's going on down there, and they are spot fin croaker type of anglers. Up there in Long Beach, occasional halibut biting. Also, I was going to show you a surfer, but he fell. And also, as we move you up to Redondo Beach area, a few yellowfin croaker and Corbina there around the Mondstadt Pier down to the Topaz Rock Jetty. Also up there around El Segundo, there's been some fish around El Porto, and up in Ventura, we continue to see some pretty decent fishing going on there. So we're going to continue to watch all of that for you very, very closely. I am blown away by how good the fishing is. And if you back this up 4 days, remember, we're all whining. What's up with the bluefin? Seeing so much of it, it doesn't want to bite. Now the light switch is on and it's biting. And what a phenomenal day for the Freedom and the Amigo yesterday, limiting out on White Seabass. These kinds of scores, $120 on the White Seabass, are unheard of. You don't see that. Take care, Matt. You don't see that kind of fishing. It is really outstanding what is going on right now with regard to that. And the gray light catching bluefin tuna up there in the Channel Islands. Who knows what this beautiful Sunday's going to bring. Hey, one other thing I want to mention to you. I did a live update with Captain Daniel Hadaway yesterday. Just go into the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel and click on live, and you'll be able to get a little 5 or 10 minute update about the Tuesday, Wednesday halibut trips out of Ventura sport fishing. They've been good, and here's an opportunity for you to join my dear friend Captain Daniel Hadaway and get some tackle tips and figure out exactly what you'll need to bring for a successful day. Have a great one. I wish you all the very, very best. Hope you get out into the great outdoors today. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.